Your house is worth whatever it's worth, right? Whoever sells it. Wrong. I'm Charlie. Welcome to Moving Home with Charlie, and thank you for coming.
Charlie Landing grew up in Sussex, is the founder of Best Agent and presenter of Moving Home with Charlie.
If you want to find one of these guys, look out for those compassionate professionals. All estate agents are not the same.
So, Charlie, what would be your advice for people interested in buying new builds right now?
Don't overpay. Do buy, but don't overpay. That's why I say disregard the guff. Read into the numbers and look, and it's buried. The bad news is buried in the small print, okay?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Property Press Awards.
They may or may not be telling the truth, but you should form your own view. Get out and view, get out and view, get out and view. You cannot be in a position to make offers and have the offers accepted if you're not viewing. So be out there viewing. Pay attention to the back of the class. If you've not been watching my videos, I did one just a couple of days ago. Disregard the guff, guys. Oh, that's really hot. Good evening, all. I hope you've had a fantastic August Bank Holiday Monday. Hottest day of the year. We're not going to have another day that hot. It's been 27 degrees down here in Devon. And whilst I wish I could do this whole live stream wearing these shades, I'm afraid I can't read anything, and I'm going to have to expect it. So not very rock and roll. But I wanted to do a quick video this evening because I've had a really, really consistently strong growth in the number of new followers joining the channel across all the platforms. And I'm getting a lot of the classic questions that are obviously from new viewers here. And I thought tonight I would focus on making offers because that's where I get most questions from new followers. So for old followers of the channel, you'll have heard most of this before, although I think this is the first time I've actually condensed the 5 golden rules of offering into one video. So here we go. Now, first and foremost, it says not within the 5 rules, but I put it down here on the screen. Be sure you really want the home before you offer. Now, that might sound like an obvious thing to say, but what first-time buyers don't know is that you have a reputation among agents as being FTB, also stands for fucking time-wasting bastards. I did a whole video on that. Look it up if you want to understand exactly how agents view first-time buyers. Oh, are we not live everywhere we should be live? Never mind. I'll sort it out later. So yes, if you're a first-time buyer, the most common mistake first-time buyers make when they make an offer and have it accepted is then go, oh God, we don't really want that house. And until we were actually faced with the reality of having had our offer accepted and now having to proceed with all of the legals and the financials and all of the thing. And a lot of first-time buyers get overwhelmed and go, actually, no, this is too big a commitment. So try not to be one of the first-time buyers. I mean, it happens, right? It happens. It's a natural thing. No one does it on purpose. It comes out of inexperience and naivety and having been focused so long on just getting a home, been saving up for ages, been tightening your belt, been having a very, very sort of tightened lifestyle because you're saving for your deposit. And so you're just laser focused, almost myopically focused on getting a house. And so you make your offers. And then you go, oh God, we don't really want that house. And the way to tell, by the way, when you've made an offer on a house that you don't want is that when you get the news that it's been accepted, you'll have one of 2 reactions. And the reaction you're looking for is a genuine feeling of elation and excitement. Even if you get a bit of nerves, that's okay. Nervous excitement, but oh my God, this is so exciting. It's what I've been waiting for all our lives. Can't wait to do it. Can't wait to crack on. And yes, it's a big commitment and obligation, but we're totally up for it. Having that wave of excitement and euphoria when you have your offer accepted is a good sign. It's also a good sign that you haven't overpaid. The other reaction that you can get when you just get the news that you've had your offer accepted is you hear the words, you're happy to tell you your offer's been accepted, and you're waiting for and instead you get this sort of sinking feeling like, why aren't I happier about that? And if you get that feeling, it means either you have overpaid and you've only just realized it when you've had your. It's a bit like when you go to an auction and you bid and you bid. You had a few drinks. It's an after dinner auction, and you end up overpaying for something, and you go hammer falls and go bang! Congratulations, sold to the drunken idiot with the paddle over there. You're like, oh god, that was me. I don't really want it. I didn't want. Yeah, so that's the feeling that you'll get if you've overpaid, and it's also the feeling that you'll get if it's actually not the property that you're meant to be moving into. All right, so that's just covering off the precursor to this video, which is be sure you really want the home before offering, including at that price. Now, I'm going to keep this quite short. I will run through the 5 rules straight away. Number 1, this is the most surprising one that people break all the time. Always offer, assuming you want the home, right? Always offer. It's amazing how many people don't offer because of rule number 2, and I'll come on to that in a second. It'll be very obvious why, right? But number 1 is the number of times I hear people saying, oh, we saw a house, we really liked it, the asking price is too high, so we didn't offer. Always offer. Unless you know for a fact that there are offers way above what you're prepared to pay, then it's different. But the number of times I hear people, oh, we weren't sure if we should offer or not, we didn't offer, it was too, just make your offer, okay? I wouldn't make that golden rule number 1 if it wasn't because it was the most frequently broken rule and the most frequent mistake made by buyers, right? Make your offer. You've got nothing to lose. Right. Rule number 2 is ignore all pressure. Just ignore it. Just don't listen. Don't let it sway you one way or the other. And the pressure is going to be, oh, we don't want to offend the vendors, or oh, it's going to be insultingly low, or oh, the asking price, you've got to offer. Just ignore. This is my phrase, disregard the guff, okay? Just ignore it. Ignore all of the hot air and the guff and the sort of slightly smelly. You've got to just ignore it. Literally disregard it. Water off a duck's back. Do not let anything they say influence what your offer is, okay? So golden rule number 2, number 1, make the offer. Number 2, ignore all pressure. Pressure to pay over asking price. Pressure, all of those things, right? Just ignore them. Ignore them, ignore them, ignore them. Provided, of course, that you follow rule number 3. And by the way, you'll see that with all these 5 rules, you have to follow all 5 for this to work. And if you don't follow all 5, don't be surprised. No, Aaron Lambert, I haven't lost a bet. I chose to do this for fun. It was a hot summer's day. I want to mark the end of summer with this. If you don't follow all 5 rules, you are leaving opportunity on the table to get the property that you want, right? So that was rule number 2, ignore all pressure. Rule number 3, only and always offer your maximum comfortable price, no more and no less. And by the way, we're talking only about home buyers here. We're only talking about people bidding on a property because you want to live in it. We're not talking about landlords or investors or flippers or any of those other things, right? We're talking about people who are buying a home to live in only. Maximum comfortable price, no more, because you will be influenced and pressured to do more, and also no less. You will find yourself wanting to go in lower and maybe have a haggle. I'll come on to exactly why in a minute, but never offer less or more than your maximum comfortable price, which is why it's the first and final offer, as per my offer email template linked below. I'll explain more in a moment. Rule number 4, always and only make your offer by email. Not on the phone, not in person, not verbally, email. Okay? Always, always by email. No exceptions. There's a long list of reasons for that, which I haven't got time to go into this video, but all the different scenarios, you need a record, a time-stamped record of your offer being made, and that's what email gives you. You need it for the situations when you've got agents who are trying to ignore your offer because they want to give the offer to someone else who's got a mortgage when you're a cash buyer, for example. So you want to have a legal timestamp of your offer, and that's what an email is. In your sent items, that email offer is admissible in court as evidence that you made the offer, and you need it, right? Sometimes you won't even know that making your offer by email has helped you avoid being ignored or that kind of stuff, right? Always make it by email. The other reason for making it by email and not verbally, and if you get the agent on the phone or asking you in person at the offer, how much, what do you think, how much? Never give them a number. Never say, we're going to go away, sleep on it, think about it, reflect on it. Yes, we are interested in the property and we do think we're going to offer. We don't know the amount yet. We will let you know and we'll make our offer by email. And the more they pressure you to say, oh, but how much do you think it might be? No, just you'll get all kinds of tricks from different agents in this scenario, right? They want to get you into a conversation either in person or over the phone, because that's when they can manipulate you and give you FOMO and trick you into offering more, etc. Never do it on the phone, always by email. Okay, that's rule number 4. And then rule number 5, which kind of wraps these all together and ties them up in a neat bow, is to remember that an offer, your chances of your offer being accepted are based on both the quantity and the quality, right? What do I mean by that? The quantity, the price, how many pounds you are offering, right? But also the quality, how prepared are you? How serious are you? How committed are you? How reasonable have you been? How reliable have you been? How much did you turn up on time for the viewings? Have you responded in good time to the agents? Quality, right? Agents you can have 5 offers for the same amount. They could all be different quality. They might all be by email, but one of them will be a shitty one going, we're offering this much, but you give us an answer by 12 o'clock tomorrow, and then we're going to back out. Blah, 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 blah. These are poor quality offers, right? The quality of your wording counts. The quality of the evidence you include in your offer email to show that you're not just saying it, you really are proceedable, counts. All right. So number 1, always offer. Number 2, ignore all pressure. Number 3, always maximum comfortable price, no more, no less. Number 4, always by email. Don't break that rule. And number 5, remember, it's not just the quantity of your offer, but the quality of your offer. And when you normally have 1 or 2 scenarios, right, where you're the only person offering on a property because it's way overpriced, been on the market for ages, no one else has looked at it, you're the only one. But as often as not, especially as a first-time buyer, you'll be one of many people bidding on a property because it's come to market at a good price. Okay? And in that scenario, agents have got a whole range of offers to represent to their client. And this is when, if they're all the same amount, the quality of the offer is important. In fact, if your quality of your offer is high enough, you will often get your offer accepted even when it's not the highest quantity. Okay. Wow. Phil Boakes on X. Hello, new name. Welcome. We got caught by this, made a cash offer on the phone, and they said, well, this is a bit late. And you've now seen that the price paid entry and it's still 50,000 less than your cash offer. Wow. Phil, was that with Connells? If you're happy to say, was that with a major corporate national chain estate agent? We'd like to know that. But there you are, guys. First-hand evidence of what I'm saying here. So now let's get back to just going through this in a little bit more detail, okay? And any questions? This is a live Q&A, so give me questions about offers, only about offers, please. And but if you can't watch the rest of the video, in the description below this video, and it will be everywhere, whether it's whichever platform you're watching, or it'll be in the description if you're watching it on Instagram or X, or I've put a link to my offer email templates. They're free to use. There's one for first-time buyers of the mortgage. There's one for cash buyers. They're both linked to in the description below on YouTube. If you're listening to this on audio podcast, the links are in the show notes. And I will make certain that the links are below everywhere on this. Okay, we're watching on TikTok, wherever you're watching. And on those links, you'll get access to the full wording, plus a video that talks you through step by step of the whole process. And is it a lengthy pain in the arse? Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. It's up to you whether you think it's worth it or not when you're offering, because if you want to be more successful sooner with your offers rather than losing out, back to square one, viewing, taking time off work again and again, you might realize that actually it's worth the time putting your offer together properly. Okay. Because what you're doing when you do this, when you present a quality offer in writing to an estate agent, you're making it easy for them to ring up the seller and go, we've got a gold-plated offer here. And they don't necessarily mean it's the best amount. They just mean this is belt and braces, proceedable, solid, quality offer. You're making it easy for the agent to, one, just forward your email to the seller, and two, make it easy for them to recommend your offer. Because what do agents want? They just want a straightforward sale with a highly committed buyer. Okay, so if you are a highly committed buyer, following this offer process will demonstrate that. Okay, too many people, especially first-time buyers, just underestimate the importance of the quality of your offer. Okay, I'm going to run through the 5 rules again in a little bit more detail this time. 15 minutes already. My God, I really can ramble. Whew. Thanks if you're still with me. Now, the always offer thing, I say, so golden rule number 1 is always make the offer. The 2 reasons why people don't make offers even though they've seen a property that they love are, number 1, because they don't want to offend the buyer, the seller, I mean. I think any seller would rather suffer a little bit of offense but actually sell their property than not be offended and not sell their property. So even if you're someone who thinks that offending a seller is more important, or sorry, not offending a seller is more important than you getting your home, ask yourself this. If you were that seller, would you rather be a bit offended for a while but get over it and then sell your home? Or not be offended but not sell your home? It never ceases to gobsmack me that this is even a factor. And it's not that I'm recommending that you run around offending people, okay? What I'm saying is, in the grand scheme of things, when buying or selling homes, it's of minor importance. Provided your offer is bona fide, high quality, and not a sort of, oh, well, yeah, I'll offer $500,000 below asking price in a text message, right? That's a piss take. That's not even going to offend them. They're just going to ignore it. If you feel that your offer is fair market value and the best you can afford, make your offer. Because if you make it where the wording is respectful, no one's going to get offended. They might be disappointed, but that's not your fault, right? That's their fault for their expectations being too high, or it's their fault for believing in agents overvaluing. Okay, so make your offer. Yeah, the first reason is people worried about offending people. The second reason is that people assume that because the asking price is 20% above what they would offer, they assume, often incorrectly, that there's no point making an offer because it's not going to get accepted. And that right there is why more of you miss out on absolute bargains than any other reason, because you don't even make the offer. If you don't make the offer, you have a 100% guaranteed chance of it not being accepted because it doesn't exist, right? And you've also got to remember that 20% might seem like wildly out to you. But if the seller knows they're optimistic with their asking price and is expecting 10% below their asking price anyway, then in their mind, your 20% below asking price offer is only 10% below what they were willing to accept. Do you see what I mean? And suddenly you're within reach of maybe agreeing a deal. So always make your offer. Always, guys. There are no exceptions to this. Provided you're serious and it's a real meaningful offer and it's your maximum comfortable price, make it. Make the offer. This one piece of advice, more than anything else, if all of you who ignore it stop ignoring it, will lead to more of you getting homes that you can afford at a price you're happy with than any of the other rules on here. Just make the offer. Okay, that's rule number 1, right? Rule number 2, and this is really important, ignoring all the pressure. From the moment the agent opens the door, in fact, from the moment you're on the phone to the agent booking the viewing, they are already manipulating you into price expectation. And sometimes they're so bad at it, they actually talk themselves out of an offer, out of a viewing, out of a deal. You must remember, you have no control over the quality of agent that is selling the house you want to buy. Maybe it's on with a good agent, maybe it's on with a bad agent. More than half of agents are so bad they shouldn't be in business. Like shockingly bad. Okay. To those of you who have been successful enough to and disciplined enough to save up money, save hard, budget properly, live within your means, you will be gobsmacked at the level of incompetence you come across in some estate agents. I mean, genuinely gobsmacked. Like, how are they even in business? And the only answer is because even they're so bad, but they managed to get someone to sign a sole agency contract to sell their home, and you want to buy that home. So you've got to deal with them even though they're terrible. And that's why they're in business. Because there are enough gullible sellers who sign up with these bad agents all day, every day. That's why they're in business. They shouldn't be. It's just astonishing, right? So when you get one of these terrible agents, they'll start trying to manipulate you right from the word go, all the way through the viewing. They will be making hints about lots of other offers, lots of other interest. I mean, if you hear the expression, well, yeah, we've got a lot of interest in this property, that's 9 times out of 10, that is absolute bullshit. And what you should do if you hear that phrase, got a lot of interest in this property, say, oh, really? Tell me more. And see what the reaction is, because sometimes they might be telling the truth, and you've got to assume that perhaps they are telling the truth, right? So do them the courtesy of assuming they're telling the truth and ask them to tell you more. We've got a lot of interest in this property. Oh, really? Can you tell me any more about that? And the ones who are telling the truth will say, yeah, we've had 17 viewings, we've had 5 offers. We're at the moment, we're just, the seller is waiting for all the viewings to finish before they consider which offer there's going to be. And if you get an answer like that, then they're probably telling the truth. Whereas if when you say, oh, please do tell me more, they go, oh, is that the time? Yes, well, I mean, it's just lots of interest. And if they sort of fumble and stumble over their words, it's obviously bollocks. Okay. And this is why you must ignore it all anyway. Okay. Because whatever they say shouldn't affect what your maximum comfortable price is, which will come to the next point in a moment. Okay. So ignore the asking price. Ignore an agent saying, well, the seller's going to be very offended if they don't get asking price. I mean, that again is a leading indicator of weakness on the agent's part. Ignore an agent saying, yeah, we've had a couple of really low offers, but the seller just ignored those. They will say stuff like that to try and stop you making low offers. And you shouldn't make an offer lower than you're happy to pay, by the way. I'll come on to that in a minute. But view the property. And unless you have specific questions about the property you want to ask the agent, just view the property. Hopefully they'll just stand quietly in the corner and let you view it. But I would avoid any discussions on price with the agent. If you view the property and you like it enough to think you're going to offer, don't hide that. Neither put on a Hawaiian shirt and do a hula dance about how much you love the property, because they will see that a mile away, okay? And they will know to hold it against you, and they will out-negotiate you. But if you do like it and you're considering offering, just play it straight. Say, yeah, we like this. This is a contender for a home for us, and we're going to go home and consider an offer. At which point they will almost certainly say, oh, really? How much are you going to consider? Don't know. Not talking about it. Not going to tell you. If we wake up tomorrow morning and decide we want to make an offer, we will email our offer to you. So ignore all the pressure. That's rule number 2. You will be getting pressure at almost all times. And it's normal and natural as a human being to just listen to what they're saying, because it's the house you want to move into and they're talking to you about it. So you want to listen to them. Don't listen to them. La, la, la. Do the dumb and dumber thing. No, I'm not listening. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. View it. Go home. Sleep on it. In the morning, you will wake up, and with some of them, you'll find yourself going, I'm not sure. If you wake up thinking about it, that's a good sign that it's the right place. If you wake up and it's not the first thing on your mind, that's often quite a good indicator that actually, don't confuse frustration and exhaustion with viewing properties with thinking that you found the one you want. Okay. Right. Number one, always offer. Number two, ignore pressure. Number three, your maximum comfortable price. This is different for everyone, and it has nothing to do with what the property's worth. It has to do with what it's worth to you in your personal circumstances. For example, if you found a home that's walking distance to work and you would normally be getting the bus or the train or driving, therefore you'll be saving on commuting costs, that home would be worth more to you than someone that's got to pay commuting. Do you see? Because if it doesn't make the property isn't worth any more in itself, but it's worth more to you if it cuts down on your commuting costs. See what I mean? Maybe it might be because you want to be within walking distance of a family member or very easy reach of a family member, and it's the only one that meets the criteria. That changes its value to you. So your maximum comfortable price is always personal. Of course, it's based on your financial situation. And of course, a lot of people who are on a budget of some kind, and not everybody is, but people who are on a budget of some kind, are going to worry about the future value of the property. And I'm not saying you should ignore that, but you shouldn't attach too much importance to that if you're buying a home to live in long term. And so only you can work out what the maximum comfortable price to you is for that particular property in your circumstances. You've got to work it out for yourself. Is it hard? Yes. No one else can do it for you. Not your mortgage broker, not your mate, no one else. Only you know the number you're comfortable with. Only you know if you're someone that's happy to accept the fact that property prices might come down over the next few years for a bit, but you don't care because you're buying it to live close to family and work, and you're going to be keeping it long term. Only you know about all these factors, because all these factors affect each of us differently depending on our risk appetite and our personal situation and our marital situation, our family situation. All of these things affect the value of a given property to a given buyer. Okay. Once you've worked out your maximum comfortable price, which is the price above which you will not go, the price above which you will walk away if they say no, right? The maximum comfortable price. It is also the price below which you must not offer, because if you are up against other buyers and someone else offers the same as your maximum comfortable and you went in, well, we're going £5,000 lower and come up later, you'll lose it. And that's another thing that chump first-time buyers do all the time. And the mistake that you're making when you do that is you're putting the money before the move, and it's the wrong way around. It's about the move, not the money, when you're buying a home to live in, right? And if you're trying to save £5,000, because it would be nice to save £5,000, but that means you lose the house, was it worth it? Buyers kick themselves over that mistake more than any other single mistake, which is why I repeat, maximum comfortable price. No more. Do not overpay. 1 penny over your maximum comfortable price and you are overpaying, and not a penny less, right? It is your first and final offer. And I'm sorry, there's no calculator you can use and there's no one you can ask for help. You must figure this out for yourself. And if you find yourself unable to do that, I would put it to you that you may not be ready to buy a home. You may not be ready psychologically and financially. If you're not able to work out what that number is to you, it's not easy. Even for experienced people, it's not easy because you've got lots of conflicting feelings about it. And if you're buying as a couple, you might both have different feelings about a property. So it's difficult. Oh, go away, spammers. A couple of good questions coming in, which I will come back to. Okay, that's another good comment to come back to. Yeah, Deborah Rose. It's about the move, not the money. That's a catchphrase I coined some time ago. Big lesson. Do not overpay and not a penny less. Thank you for underlining this over and over again. Thank you, Deborah. Thanks for that comment. That's great that it's taken on board. Okay, so that's the maximum comfortable price. No more, no less. First and final and one and only offer. And if you follow the rules in my offer email template, it will be clear to the agent. right? That is, it is a yes or no. It is a yes, we accept, or no, we don't. Thank you very much. Goodbye. And one of the reasons for this is, again, is to avoid getting into a negotiation, because 9 times out of 10, you will lose a negotiation, even if you think you're a clever and good negotiator, because you're doing it with someone that does it all day, every day for a living. And even the bad agents have the upper hand when they're negotiating against someone who's got FOMO. Right. Number 4, always offer. 2, ignore the pressure. 3, maximum comfortable price, no more, no less. Number 4, always and only by email. There's a long list of reasons for this, but the main reasons are, number 1, it's the way to demonstrate the quality of your offer. You can't do that any other way than by email. You can attach stuff, you can forward stuff, you can include stuff, you can screenshot stuff, you can make your email comprehensive and make your email quality. You can't do that verbally, okay? So that's number 1. Number 2, it's much easier for an agent to remember lots of details about your offer if it's in an email. If you give it all over the phone, most of them won't write it down. And so even if your offer is good quality and you give it verbally, it'll be lost. If the agent doesn't write down those points, they won't remember them and they won't get communicated to the seller. And so you will unfairly miss out because that crappy agent didn't write down all the points that you told them over the phone. And therefore the seller didn't discover the fact that actually you can move in tomorrow, you're ready to exchange, etc. Okay, that's the first reason. Always by email, because there's no other way of improving the quality of that, right? I can hear people thinking, but what about if you did it actually in writing, in hard copy in writing? That's a lot more work. It's not as easy for the agent to forward. It can get lost. It doesn't give you the timestamp that you need for legal reasons, should those reasons arise. So email is even better than hard copy. But if you want to do both, knock yourself out. I genuinely, there is actually an argument for doing it by email and hard copy. And that is, if they've got lots of offers coming in, your hard copy offer will be on their desk, in their face, and nobody else's will, right? So I'm not saying don't do it by hard copy. I'm just saying do it by hard copy as well as email if you want to. Next reason is so that you have proof, irrefutable, incontrovertible, admissible in court proof that you made your offer, should the circumstances arise that you need to prove it. And as per that very nice chap who shared a story at the beginning, was it Phil? Phil Boakes, yeah. He lost out as a cash buyer because he didn't put his email in, he didn't put his offer by email, and they sold to someone else for less money, which means they sold a mortgage to someone else. And last but not least, if you have the situation where the agent is a proper wrong-un and they are genuinely refusing and failing to forward your email to the seller, you can go, and this does occasionally happen. I mean, I find it astonishing that any agents are that stupid, but it does happen. If you were to print out that email and post it through the letterbox of the house you want to buy, because you don't think the agent has forwarded it onto the seller, and it transpires that in doing so, you have caught the agent out, the seller now knows about your offer, knows the agent didn't give it to you, knows that the agent's trying to get them to accept a lower offer because they've got the mortgage they're selling with it, then the seller will not be liable for the agent's fee in that case. And so you and the seller could split the fee, split the savings, split the difference, or whatever. Either way, the seller shouldn't be paying the agent's fee. And if the seller wants to make a complaint to the ombudsman by giving your printed out email through their letterbox, you've given the seller the evidence that they need to prove that the agent withheld an offer. Always make the offer by email. Also, it makes it easier for you to say to the agent in the email, please reply and acknowledge receipt of this email straight away. Okay. Now, when it comes to timing, I haven't talked about this. It's not in the 5 golden rules, but when it comes to the timing, in terms of how long you give them, don't hardball too much unless there's a real reason for it. Okay. So don't say, I want an answer by midday tomorrow. First of all, it reduces the quality of your offer. I'm not saying never do it, but I'm saying don't do it just as a saber rattling move. Don't do it as a power move. It's just a bit dickish, and agents see it coming a mile away. If you have a valid reason for putting a deadline on it, those do exist, then include your reason for your deadline, just so the agent knows you're just not being a dick. Okay, we must have an answer by midday tomorrow, because if we don't, we will miss the deadline to offer on another property that we like, for example. Okay. But do put a reasonable deadline in there. And what it should be is, here's my offer. I'd like an answer within 5 days, 7 days, whatever it is. And because if your offer is a lot below the asking price, sometimes sellers need time to process it. They need to sleep on it, talk to their family members. They just need time to digest it and come to terms with it, right? So patience really pays when you're making these offers. But you also can't leave it open-ended forever either. So that's also a fair point. Okay, so that is always by email and why. And if you've done it by email and you haven't heard back from the agent after a couple of days, you can go back and say, hi, re-forward the email and say, just re-forwarding this email, haven't heard back from you. Could you please acknowledge that you got it 2 days ago? And could you please confirm that you have forwarded it to the seller? Not asking for an answer yet, just asking for confirmation from the agent that they have actually forwarded it to the seller. And last but not least, again, remember, the offer is as much about quality as it is about quantity. Okay? Be the most compelling offer, because you've demonstrated that you've done your research, you know the process, and you're in a position to move faster than other buyers. You've already got your conveyancer lined up, you've got your proof of deposit funds, your conveyancer's already authorized your source of deposit funds, you've got a mortgage in principle already approved with your name on it, like an actual proper mortgage decision in principle, not a fake one off the internet, but a real one. And the fact that you will order your property search pack immediately if they accept your offer. If the seller is being sleepy and isn't ready, and you do get these very frustrating sellers sometimes, who are like first-time buyers. Sometimes sellers get an offer and they get it at asking price or whatever, and they go, no, don't know if you actually want to move now. Or they don't know where they're going to move to, and so they find themselves in no man's land. And what you want to see from a seller, at minimum, within a very short period of time, like 7 days, is you want to see their solicitor's details and a memorandum of sale, right? Which is simply just names and addresses of all parties concerned. And so you could say, I will order my property search pack the day the offer is accepted, or you could say, I'll order my property search pack the day I get the memorandum of sale. All right, guys, that's that. A couple of questions. Okay, Harry Hindsight. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, let me just answer these questions from earlier. So Ramble and Root says, if you keep offering a lower amount and being rejected, is it likely the estate agent will be reluctant to let you continue viewings? Not if you're making the offers properly. Not if the agent knows that they are legitimate, quality, real, proceedable offers. And the reason why is because if you are a serious buyer, they will want to find you a home, because you are a walking fee. You're literally a walking fee if you're a serious buyer. The ones that they will be reluctant, the agents who might be reluctant to let you keep viewing, are if you make crappy, poor quality offers where you just go, oh yeah, okay, man, offer 150, or offer, if it's a half-hearted, dickish offer, and you keep doing that, then yes. But if your offers are legitimate, quality, well-worded, respectfully presented offers, no, that's not a danger. Someone called Lucky to Live. That's the first time I've ever seen that name on here. Welcome, but looks like you've been watching me for a while. We used your template and got it accepted, albeit the seller didn't accept it until after the offer period had expired. So that resulted in an additional couple of £1,000 further reduction. So thanks. Fantastic. That's wonderful. Lucky to Live, thank you very much. That's great news to hear. Out of interest, what was if you're still watching, what was the offer period that you put on that? Was it the 7 days or the 14 days? I can't remember what the suggestions are, but it'd be good to know. And Harry Hindsight says, my instinct would be to offer something less than maximum comfortable price. Everybody's instinct is that, and that's why so many people miss out on homes. Couldn't we define overpaying as every pound you've paid above and beyond what the seller was in fact willing to accept? No. I understand that question, but no, because if the seller was willing to accept 250,000, but there were 4 buyers all bidding at 275,000, right? Then that's truly the fair market value of that property. And if you're bidding over the asking price because the asking price is really low, because the sellers just, and there are sellers like this, by the way. There are sellers they've lived there for 40 years. They've got no idea what the market's worth. They've got no idea what the house is worth. And if they go with a bad agent, that agent will often undersell it to cheap to a mate, which is disgusting behavior. So that's not a correct definition of overpaying at all. And Harry, your instinct to offer something less than maximum comfortable price. Okay, follow that instinct. Let's say you offer 245,000 on a 250,000 pound property, but you could pay 250,000, and actually you'd be comfortable paying 250,000 pounds. But someone else offers 250,000 pounds, and they get it. How do you feel at that point? You feel stupid, right? Like, I promise you'll feel stupid. If you would have paid 250 and your offer went in before the other person's, by going in lower, right, going at 245, all you've done is made it easier for the agent to get another offer higher. So when you offer less than your maximum comfortable price, you are helping the agent to get someone else to offer more than you. Think it through. Most people's instincts, buyers and sellers alike in this market, are wrong. Most people think they know how the market works, and so few people know how the market works. Like, only roughly 10% of estate agents actually understand how the housing market works. That is a staggering statement to make, but it's true. Only about 10% of agents actually understand how the housing market really works. And those are the ones who will get your house sold under offer within a month with multiple competing buyers, proving that they've created a market for your home and therefore they're not underselling it. Only agents that get you competing bids understand the market. Everyone else is underselling your home by overpricing it. Right, guys, that is going to be that for tonight. So buying or selling, if you're doing it with a mortgage, you need a broker and you need a conveyancer. Okay, and I work with fantastic partners both on conveyancing and on mortgage broking. You can talk to them there. If you haven't got one that you know and trust yourself and you can't be bothered to look, I can recommend you mine. I've now been working with them both for over 3 years and they're outstanding. mhwc.co.uk/conveyancing for the conveyancers, mhwc.co.uk/mortgage for the brokers, and mhwc.co.uk/property-pack for when you want to buy your search pack. Right. Going to call it a night there. If you haven't already signed up for the newsletter, please do. Every Friday, you get a newsletter, including my thought of the week. And by the way, for those of you that do get my newsletter, all feedback, great. You can reply to the newsletter, and I will see it. By the way, on Wednesday this week, Wednesday the 27th of August at 8 p.m, we've got Simon David back in the house, the boss of Thomas Legal, the multiple award-winning conveyancing firm, which is one of the 2 firms that I work with and recommend you guys to. He's going to be live on the channel, 8 o'clock Wednesday night, to take your questions. Okay? So whatever your legal situation is about your sale or your purchase or your move, anything to do with the legal purchase, the legal process of moving house, questions live to the boss of one of the UK's top conveyancing firms, only on this channel. Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. See you there. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.